Things I would do differently if I could redo my pregnancy, part 2. Number 1 is I don't think we would have shared the name that we were thinking of for our son until we were all but certain that that was the name we were going to go for. We had a name that we liked, but we weren't 100% convinced, but it was the best of the bunch that we had. And our family were so excited about learning what the name was. Every time we saw them, they were like, what's the name? What's the name? What's the name? And so eventually we thought, you know what, let's tell them the name that we're leading towards. And we were kind of set on this name at the point that we shared it. So we shared the name, and I think what was really difficult was that excitement of wanting to know the name did not then translate to hearing the name and loving the name and being excited about the name. And actually, after we shared the name, the very same people who were kind of pressuring us to know the name were now saying, well, just meet him and see how you feel about the name when you meet him, which felt like their way of saying, I don't really like that name. And I think it would be different if it was a name that we had loved and been set on, but naming babies is so hard, especially boys. I find that with girls, we had a few different options that we loved, but with boy names, we've always struggled to come up with a name that we are really passionate about. So if I had my time again, unless I was 100% set in my conviction that I loved a name, I don't think I would share it. Which leads me to my second point, which is I would make a point of asking my friends to not tell me the names that they're considering for their children. First time that I went out with a friend of mine, when she found out I was pregnant, we were talking names and I was saying, oh, we don't really know what name we like. And she said, oh, can I tell you the names that we like for a boy and a girl? And at first I was like, I'm really sorry, I don't want to know, because I don't want it to impact our decision. Like, if we like one of those names, I don't want to feel like I have to take it off the table because I know that you like it. And eventually I was like, okay, just tell me the name. And the boy's name was a name that my husband really liked. But ever since that conversation with her, I felt a little bit like we couldn't consider that name because I didn't want her to think that I'd stolen it from her. And again, these would be very specific to me and to my husband. Other people might not care. I have friends who've named their kids after their best friend's child, but if I could go back and do it again, these are two things that I would definitely tell myself. I'd love to hear what you think. Is there anything that you do differently around baby names? Did you share it in advance? Would you recommend not sharing it in advance? Let me know.